Hey friends, Mia Neuenhoff with Genesis Yoga here. We've had about a week now, right, of this hibernation. And I don't know if you're feeling a little bit like me, but just want to break out a little bit. Today's posture, we've been doing a lot of gentle practices and so forth. So today's posture is about expansion, opening up. And like you, I've been pretty confined, so I don't even know if I can get in today's posture. We're going to be working toward Bird of Paradise, and I don't even know if I can get there today. So if you can't, that's okay. We're just going to move in that direction. So we're going to start in a prone position. And I'm going to face you for a moment as we do this. Just coming onto your belly. And first, crocodile pose. Just one hand on top of the other. Notice anywhere you may be holding on, anywhere you may be gripping. What I love about this position, this prone position, is it's one of the few places we can be where we are breathing at our most efficient. Our diaphragm is working as it should be working. I find it interesting that we were designed so that we breathe the deepest, we breathe the best when we're in our most submissive posture. So just something to think about there. But tap into the breath. Notice the side walls of your body expand. What it feels like for the ribs to move out. What it feels like to notice where you're gripping and find some release there. And start to form an intention for your class. Always moving toward the intention or toward the breath when your mind starts to wander. That's the yoga, inhabiting your own body as you move. We're really disconnected from our bodies, and maybe even more so now. But this intention and our breath, that's our touchstone. What I love about Bird of Paradise, if you think about the plant itself, there's this unfurling, and that's what we do in the posture. So we're almost getting small to get big in this posture. So while you're on your belly, I want you to just lift your heart, and you're going to slide your arms under your chest. Now, I don't want them up above the shoulder socket or below the shoulder socket, just coming straight out of the shoulder socket, palm up. You can rest your forehead on a block, or just let your chin rest on your arms. No sharp pain here. Your fascia on your shoulders, it may make it a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. But we really want to inhabit our bodies. Notice if there's sharp pain. We don't want sharp pain. I want you uncomfortable, but not in pain. And lift your heart. The arm that was in front, move it to the back. And again, check in with the shoulders, the wrists, that they're coming straight out of the shoulder sockets. And then find that space of, I don't want to say ease, but where you feel sensation. And then start to focus when something that is relaxed. Maybe it's your fingertips. When you bring your focus there, you'll notice that other parts of the body may start to relax. Inhale, lift up. We're going to slide our right arm out to the side. And I'm going to move to the lengthwise position so you can see what's going on a little bit here. I don't know the real name of this pose. I call it plot pose. So we're on our belly. We're going to extend the right arm out, this time palm down. Slide your left hand under your left shoulder. We're just going to press up and over. Now, if you want to feel it more in your back, then you're going to keep you're going to bring your head to the mat. If you want to feel it more in your neck, or excuse me, your shoulder, then you're going to keep your head lifted. Now, if you're feeling particularly open, you can reach for that hand. But again, really honoring your shoulder joint, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. And inhale, roll back to center. Bring the right hand under the shoulder, stretch the left arm out. And we're just going to press up and over the left arm. Inhale, come on back. Slide both hands under the shoulders, and we're just going to press up and come into cobbler's pose. Tuck your toes. Now you're going to control the intensity by where your shoulders are. So you can start out with your shoulders forward of your hips, and then just in time, moving up to where your shoulders are over your hips. Ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. The train's coming. You're gonna love that. So interlace your hands behind your back. Bring the palms to touch, the heels of the hands to touch actually. The elbows could be bent, that's okay. We're gonna press our knuckles down toward the earth. And then ears over the shoulders again. You can lift your chest, but knit the lower ribs in. Press the knuckles back behind you. Draw the hands over to the left. I was mirroring, so now I'm going to switch. And left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Press the knuckles back. Release that. Give yourself a little hug. You can lay the toes back under. And bring your hands behind you. And lift your knees just to get into the tops of the feet a little bit. You forget about all of what's going on the top of our feet, the bottom of our feet. We just keep them housed in shoes. Then plant your hands. Just going to step over into a malasana squat. So you want to take your feet as wide as your mat, and then the knees tracking over the toes. Bring the triceps inside of the thighs, and lift your heart. I want you to think about taking that notch at the base of your skull as far away from your tailbone as you can get it. Now, if this is not your jam, you can put another mat under your heels. We want the heels on the mat. I'm not a big fan of sitting on a block because then you're not really working what it is that I want you to work. So if the heels aren't touching, first walk the feet out wider than what you think they need to be, and see if that helps get a little lower. You can put them on a blanket if you like. Plant your hands, lift your hips, and then just toe heel the feet in to about hip distance. Bring hand to elbow, elbow to hand, and just forward fold. Draw the low belly in. And visualize space between each and every vertebra. Inhale, half lift, inner thighs toward the back of the room. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees lightly. Inhale, sweep all the way up, fingertips meet overhead. Whenever our fingertips meet overhead, it's a great time to revisit our intention. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Press down for the left foot. Inhale, lift, exhale, fingertips over to the right. Now, nudge the right shoulder forward a little bit, left hip forward a little bit. Inhale, back to center. Take hold of the right wrist. Reach up. Exhale, over to the left. Again, just squaring off the hips and shoulders. Inhale, center. Exhale, little cactus. So we're not pushing the hips forward to take a back bend that way. We're lifting the heart as we cactus. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, high push up. Your shoulders over your palms. down dog, I want you to think about what I see a lot is just like in feet, this pronation. I want you to think about pressing down the index knuckle, the pinky knuckle, and the heel of the thumb. This is the weakest part of our wrist, and we tend in down dog to, is that supinate over into that weak part of the wrist, and our wrists have a ton of bones in them, so you just want to honor the wrist. Press down just like you do in your feet, using all 4 points of the feet. Root through the left foot. Inhale, right heel high. You're just going to stack the right hip on top of the left. Keep pressing through the right arm. And then square off the hips. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right foot forward. Left knee to the mat. You can run a blanket under there if you like. And I like to move it back and forth, as you know. And inhale, rise up, low crescent. I'm going to flip around. Again, anytime the hands reach high, take a gaze up, come back to your intention. There's your touchstone. And inhale, exhale, hands to the mat, press your hips back, and flex the front foot. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, bow out. You can walk your hands forward if you like. The crown of the head toward the toes. And inhale, sole of the foot back to the mat. We're going to pivot the back foot like a kickstand. Inhale, come on up. Warrior two on the knee. Again, you can have a blanket under your knee. So we're setting up just like we would, always the close. Aggravates Pam to death, always the close. Just like we would in the larger form of warrior two. Check in the back arm, that it's not trying to come up front. Use your middle back, your rhomboids, to hold your arms up versus the deltoids. The deltoids are made to bring them up to about here, and then we bring it to the back. So that's why sometimes we take our palms high. Drop the tailbone down, lift the low belly. And we're going to press through the right leg, left hand to the mat, right arm overhead. I sometimes like to just take the palm high to intensify the stretch. And inhale, come on up. We're going to bring the palms to the earth. Root down through the left hand. Inhale, arm high. Exhale, right arm through. Walk the left fingertips down. And slide the hand back. Right arm high. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to pivot back. Tuck the toes of the left foot, send the right leg back. Now this first vinyasa, you can bring your knees to the mat if you like. Exhale, lower all the way down. Press down through the tops of the feet, press down through the pelvis, lift the heart. While we're here, let's just do a few cobra rolls. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Move the hands back a few inches. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, third eye to the mat. Move the hands back to where the heels of the hands are parallel with the bottom edges of the ribs. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back, down dog. Root through the right foot, inhale, left heel high. Stack the left hip on top of the right hip. And then just open and close the leg. Each time, maybe you bring the heel just a little bit higher. Keep pressing through the left hand. And square off the hips. Inhale, exhale, pull the left leg forward. Right knee to the mat. Move it back and forth a little bit. And walk your hands up. Arms high, gaze high. So whenever we lift the heart, we have this tendency to open up with the ribs. I want you to try to keep the bottom ribs knit in by just pulling the pubic bone up just a smidge. Inhale, exhale, hands to the mat, press the hips back, flex the front foot. Inhale, lift the heart, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk your hands up. Come back to the sole of the left foot. We're going to rise up, pivot the right knee back toward the mat, and then come up into our warrior two. Slide your right ribs toward the back of the mat. I probably got you all confused. I started mirroring. I can never remember, I have a hair in my mouth, I can never remember which way is the mirroring depending on what the camera is facing. Inhale, straighten through the left leg, right hand to the mat, left arm overhead. You can take your gaze toward the left elbow, toward the left thumb, or just straight ahead. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Root through the right hand, left arm high. Inhale. Exhale, slide the left arm under, left temple to the mat. And inhale, right arm back, left arm high. Exhale, bring the hand back to the mat. We're going to pivot back over the left foot, tuck the right toes. Step the left leg back. You can keep it lifted, bring it to the mat. You can come back to the knees to do your vinyasa, or just lower as much as you can lower without the shoulder heads moving forward. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, look to the front of your mat and step the feet forward. Half lift, exhale, forward fold. Toe heel, the feet out, and come back into your Malasana squat. This time we're going to sweep our right hand out past our right knee, left arm high. Now, when you do this, not to let your left knee move in. So we're here, not letting this left knee trap in. And let's sweep the left arm out past the left leg, right arm high. Right hand down, lift the hips, toe heel, the feet back in to under the hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, chair pose. I love me some chair because I used to loathe chair. So what I make a habit of doing in my practice is starting at the highest point, and each breath just getting a little lower. And I usually go about 10 breaths. And forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk, step, or float the feet back. Move through your vinyasa or skip your vinyasa. Root down to the left foot. Inhale, right heel high. Bring the right foot through. We're going to stay in this lunge for a moment. And toe heel the right foot out. Again on an angle so your right knee can track over. You can stay high. You can bring the left knee down. You can stay here, or you can bring your arms to blocks. You can bring one arm to a block, or you can come to the mat. And walk your hands back in, lift the back knee, pivot the back foot down. And we want heel to heel alignment, so toe heel the front foot in, or heel to arch alignment. Front knee over front ankle, right arm high. Now, take your right sit bone toward your right heel, And come on up, warrior two. And warrior two, my shirt's just getting lower and lower. I want you to lift the arch of the back foot. We're just going to exalt that a couple of times. So, hand to the thigh, right arm overhead. If you came out of the front knee, go right back into it. Then, warrior two. Inhale, exalt. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, exalt. Exhale, warrior two. Windmill the hands down. Step the right foot back. And move through your Vinyasa. Root through the right foot. Inhale, lift the left heel high. Exhale, step the foot through. Drop the right knee. No, I'm lying. Keep the right knee lifted. Toe heel, the left foot out. Again, on an angle, let the knee follow. Try to keep the right hip point lifted a bit. Nice long spine. You can bring the knee to the mat. You can stay high on your palms. You can come down to your elbows on a block. Or all the way down. Inhale, come on back up. Lift the back knee, we're going to toe heel. The front foot in, pivot the back foot down. Check our alignment right here. Bring the left hand inside of the leg. You can always bring it to a block, whatever height that you need. Keep pulling the left hip crease back, right arm high. Are you wearing your shoulders as earrings? Slide them into their sockets. Bring the left sit bone toward the left heel. Inhale, reach up, warrior two. Right hand, right thigh, left arm overhead. This is a lateral stretch. It's not a back bend. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, exalt. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, exalt. Inhale, warrior two. Windmill the hands down, pivot up onto the toes of the back foot. And you guessed it, Vinyasa. So you can step your feet to the front of the mat, or you can hop your feet outside of your hands and come into your Malasana squat. We're going to sweep the right hand out. You can plant it, or you can wrap it around the knee. Bring the left hand around. Keep the left knee tracking out. release that. Windmill the hands down, pivot the feet back under the hips. Root through the right foot, inhale, left heel high. Maybe bring the right hand to the chest, whoops. Left hand to the chest. We want to keep the toes facing straight down. We're going to bend into the front knee, step the back foot back, and pivot it down, and come into our extended side angle. Sit behind the heel, inhale, come up, warrior two. Left hand, left thigh, right arm overhead, exalt. Straight through the front leg, push through the inner blade of the front foot. Then inhale, starfish, start to move forward, being really cognizant of the front knee and front leg. You want to press through the inseam and keep the knee moving out versus hyperextending, moving it in. Now, as I fall, I'm not a huge fan of supporting the bottom hand. I want you using your core a little bit. So, one of the most beautiful triangles I ever saw was right here, because it was so well aligned. You don't have to go deep just to plant a hand. See if you can make the bottom edge of your body as long as the top edge. We're going to bend back into the front knee. Windmill up, warrior two. Bring the hands to the heart, extend through the front leg, pivot the left foot toward the left corner, and then move out, high skandasana. Just really getting into the hip socket. Hands to the heart, pivot back over the front leg. So you can stay high here, or maybe come down toward flying monkey. Always listening to the knees. So if it's compromising your knee to come down, stay high. We're going to sweep the hand out, sweep the left arm high, or you can take the bind here. Release that. I'm going to press up and do that whole thing on the other side. So you can move back to down dog, or you can move through your vinyasa. Inhale, lift between the hands. You can step or bring the feet up outside the hands. Heels in, toes out. Malasana squat. You can sweep, or you can take the bind on the left. I probably should have turned the air on. It's okay. Release that. Lift the hips, toe, heel, the feet in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and lift the right heel. Notice if the toes are moving out to the side. I want you to look down your body and see that the toes are facing straight down. A lot of times that's going to come from the standing leg, which is the hyperactive leg. The muscles would help. So drawing the left hip crease back and relaxing the left hip down just a titch. You can bring the left hand to the heart, right hand to the heart. Keep pressing out of the right heel. Bend into the front knee and come down into your extended side angle. So if your shoulder is bothering you, you don't need that. You can bring the arm here, plug it in, and take it high. Sit bone to heel, inhale, come on up, warrior two. Right hand, right thigh, left arm overhead, exalted, and then press through the inner blade of the front foot as you rock the knee out. Reach from the toes up through the fingertips. Then inhale, arms level with the earth, press it forward, be aware of the knee, which direction it's going, and then hands 6 to 12. Strong outer rotation of the leg. Woo. And we're just going to bend back into the front knee. Come back up, warrior two, hands to the heart. Pivot the left toes, pivot the right toes, and send it out over the right leg. Hands to the heart. We can move that back over the front leg or come down into our flying monkey. Remember, every pose has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So don't be in a rush to pass through any pose. You notice me just settling into it. You want to align it and align each phase before you move on. And release that. We're going to pivot back over the front foot, back to down dog or vinyasa, your choice. So come on down to your knees for a moment and come into child's pose. I'm just going to have a word about bird of paradise. So bird of paradise is what we call a warrior two pose. The front leg, the lifted leg, is in an outer rotation. The bottom leg is in an outer rotation. But oftentimes we come back to, we start like an extended side angle, bind it, keep your head down. I can talk to you while your head's down. Bind it, then we move that front leg forward, which is taking us back into an internal rotation. So a lot of times I like to just start it from that malasana positioning versus extended side angle, move the back foot forward, weight into the back foot, then come up. One thing I want you to remember, as we come up, lift from the knee. Your leg is awfully heavy, and if you want to really honor your QL muscles, quadratus lumborum, don't try to lift your leg. Let your knee lift. Pull your knee up, not using, you're going to use your back, but just mentally try to lift the knee, and it's much easier on your body. All right, so tuck your toes. Come on back into down dog. And then I want you to hop, step, or float your feet to the front of the mat. And come down into your Vinyasa squat one more time. So in Vinyasa squat, the toes are facing out. But as you move your feet closer together, the feet come a little straighter, okay? So I want you to think about the outer rotation, but the feet are going to be straighter. So we're going to come into like a hip distance forward fold. I'm going to have my toes spread just a little bit. Come on down, forward fold. I want you to bend deeply into the right knee, okay? We're going to sweep our arm under. So if you're not used to binds, one of the toughest things is figuring out how to twist the arm. I want you to just keep moving the thumb down and back and take the bend in the elbow with it. That's how you're going to do a bind. A lot of folks like to just, they forget they have an elbow joint. And there's a couple of different ways to skin a cat, right? So we're just going to take our bind here and then maybe straighten your leg. Guess what? If you're doing that, you're doing bird of paradise, right? Now, we're going to put our weight over into the left leg. Inhale, start to lift the right knee, remember? Then we're going to rotate the right knee out. Inhale, and then exhale, press through the heel. Whoop. So it's really important to rotate that leg out as well, because otherwise you're just shooting it forward. Lifting the knee is probably the most work. So I'm not really concerned about you getting the heel out. What I want you to focus on is weight into the opposite foot. Inhale, lift up. And then if it's with a bent knee, that's a-okay. Now, if you're up, try to hold it for about 3 breaths. You could also do this with a strap. Out of breath myself. With as much control as you went into it, come on back down, and then just give yourself a little hug. So other leg. Actually, before we do that, just bring your thumbs to your low back. Inhale, lift your heart and draw your elbows together. Draw your elbows together and down. All right. Inhale, lift up. Revisit your intention. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Toe heel the feet just a smidge wider than your traditional forward fold. Toes out just a little bit. We're going to bend deeply into the left leg. Sweep our hands around, take the bind. If it's not there, that is okay. It's yoga. It is not pass or fail. Nobody's going to die. It's all good. It's yoga. If you don't get the bind, you will see another day. We're going to press our weight into the right foot. Inhale, lift up, whoop. Then take the knee out. Inhale, exhale. So see, out of balance. I'm going to try that again. If you're falling in and out, that's okay. Try it again. Weight into the right foot. Inhale. Lift up. So it's not for me there on the left leg today. Take the knee out of rotation, both legs, and then press through the heel. Get super long in your spine. Lift the pubic bone just a titch. 3 breaths. And with as much control, release that. Woo, forward fold. Bend the knees lightly. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Lift the heart, net the low ribs in. Revisit your attention here. Exhale, practice the arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swan dive down. Forward, fold. Inhale, half lift. My ponytail has hung up on my earring all day. Exhale, step the feet back, down dog, or your last vinyasa. Root through the left foot. Inhale, right heel high. Exhale, right knee behind the right wrist. And then slide the foot, not slide the foot, walk the back toes back. How about that? Check in with the back leg. See how I can move the leg into more of a horizontal position by walking my back toes back. Check in that the leg is coming straight out. It's not flaring off to the side. Make sure you don't have the back foot sickled. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Slide your hands under your shoulders, lift your heart, inhale. And then exhale, you can do one of two things. You can tuck your toes and lift back up into a 3-legged dog, stack the hips, or you can lift up to bring yourself back up into the runner's lunge. Now, if you're doing that, I want you to grab your blocks, bring your blanket to the front of the mat. We've got one last little push. And just use your blocks as leg extensions, arm extensions. Bring your foot on top of the blanket. We've done a lot of great hip and hamstring work today, but we're just going to step into that one more time. Inhale, and then exhale, start to slide the blanket forward. Again, use the back toes to control. Make sure the back knee is facing straight down. So wherever you are, stick a block under there and just stay for a few breaths. So here's the deal. I used to have sciatic pretty bad, and I was past 50 when I started doing the splits, and my sciatic's gone. A friend had sort of told me about something called nerve flossing, and it seems to have worked for me. And we're gonna lift back up and switch that out. So back into your down dog. Take the left foot high, and then bring the left knee behind the left wrist. The toes are gonna point back toward the knee. Walk the back toes back, and keep walking them till you adjust the front knee where you want it. And we check in with the back leg, that the back foot's not sickled. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold. So pigeon is not one of my favorite poses, and I believe that if a pose isn't your favorite, that means you need to do it every day. Been doing that a long time. Still not my favorite. I've embraced some of Warrior Two and Chair. I used to have the same ambivalent feelings for. Complete love affair with both of those now. Pigeon, never came. And slide your hands under your shoulders, lift your heart, tuck the toes, your choice. You can just move back into a down dog, shake the leg out, and just stay in down dog or child's pose, or bring the left leg forward again. Bring it to the blanket, blocks under the hands. Inhale, and then exhale, just lower down. We're going to stay about 5 breaths. Check in with the back knee, that it's down. So, and come on back. Oops, come back to your down dog. Woo. And just bring your knees to the mat, or if you're still feeling spunky, you can jump your feet through. Let's get just a little bit more in because we can. I want you to come up, come into your Navasana, and lower to your canoe, and then down. Full body stretch, fan the fingers, fan the toes. It's supposed to be 90 on Wednesday and Thursday. Hug your right knee in. First, squeeze it in toward the chest and let it slide out toward the arm. Roll the ankles. It's March, and it's going to be 90s. Woo. Take your left hand to your right knee, sweep it over. Open your arms into a T. Gaze can be toward the ceiling or over your right shoulder. Try to kiss the right shoulder down to the mat so it's not lifted up. And then if you're still seeking some sensation, you might want to think about just taking your right foot and bringing it to the floor outside of your left leg. Inhale, come back to center. Give the knee a little squeeze. Reach down for the inside blade of your right foot. And come into happy baby. Now notice my right shoulder. I've got it pinned down to the mat, so it's not lifting up. Welcome to stay right here, or you can press through the heel. Look where we are. We're right back into our posture again, right? Release your foot. Take the sole of the foot to the mat. Bring the left knee in toward your chest. Extend your right leg long. I'm so tall, I have to look to make sure I'm not knocking things over. Slide your left knee up under your left arm. Roll the ankle. And sweep your left knee over to the right side. Open your arms into a T. You can reshuffle your shoulders here. Pin your left shoulder down, gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, draw it back. Reach down for your foot, inside blade. Take the knee toward the mat. Sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Plug your shoulder back down toward the mat. And you can press through the heel here if you like. We've done a lot of that today, so that's definitely a take it or leave it. It's all a take it or leave it, really. Come on. Some days my practice consists of just sitting on my mat, staring into space. And give the knee a little squeeze, and both feet to the mat. Bring your heels up close to your seat. Oh, I'm out of mat, aren't I? Ugh. Now check in with your feet. Notice if your toes are wide. We want just see the heels or the side blades of the feet. That's going to help us keep our knees in. I want you to snuggle your shoulders up under your back. The back of your head's on the mat, your hips are on the mat, but your spine is off the mat. That's your suspension bridge. We want to protect our neck and not press down when we go into bridge. Press down into our neck. It's super fragile, and you know, if you just hold the phone crazy, then your neck hurts. Root down through your heels. Inhale, lift your hips. You can snuggle your shoulders in a little closer. You can interlace your hands if you like. I want you to press your shins toward the front. And unravel your hands, lower the hips down to the earth. Press the small of the back toward the mat. You can windshield wiper your legs. So round 2, you can do bridge again, or you can do wheel. So I'm going to be super real with you. I had the entire month of February, I wasn't able to practice or run or anything. So I'm just getting back into my practice too. So I'm going to do wheel, but it could look like a complete train wreck because it's been a few months since I've done wheel. And I'm really going to listen to my shoulder, and if my shoulder says no, I'm not going up. We have lots of wheels here. I'm a big proponent of using a wheel to do wheel. So again, checking in with the feet, slight pigeon toe, I like just so I'm not jamming into my low back. Where's my mat? Make sure I don't have my hair. Then root through the heels. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to press up. Now, I'm going to take the bottom of my shoulder blades toward the window. Then we're just going to come down like we went up. Press the small of the back toward the mat for a moment. Windshield wiper my legs. Then I'm going to extend my legs long. Take a full body stretch. So I like to do waterfall. My neck gets a little cranky doing shoulder stand. So I'm 56, y'all. I really do listen to my body as far as if it says something's not happening. I don't try to press back past that anymore. So I'm going to push through my heels. Inhale, lift my hips, and plant the block just under my sacrum. So if it's in the right spot, it's going to feel all right. It's not going to feel like anything really. If it's in the wrong spot, it's going to be uncomfortable. What do we say? Move. So, again, I'm going to tuck my shoulders, and see, I don't have it in the right spot. And just take the soles of the feet toward the ceiling. So this is my inversion. Now, if you're doing shoulder stand, again, just being really cognizant of your cervical spine and not pressing your weight into the cervical spine. It's called a shoulder stand. And if you're in shoulder stand, not letting your feet come over your face. Keep your ankles stacked over your hips. If your feet are over your face, guarantee you they're not stacked. Your ankles aren't stacked over your hips. So even here, I'm not on my neck. You know, my spine, the spine of my neck, cervical spine. I'll get there eventually. And I'm just gonna bring my feet back to the mat, lift my hips, slide the block out. Now, I'm a big proponent of if there's anything left that your body is calling for, do it. And then, you know, try it for a minute, a few breaths, and then we'll just meet in Shavasana. So, extending the legs long. Let your hands come palm up. So, again, snuggle your shoulders a little bit. Make your heart the highest point on your body. And let the feet fall open. And check in with your body. Start at your toes. Notice anywhere you may be trembling. Just checking in with the calves. How do your calves feel? How do your knees feel? What about your thighs? Just moving through the body. Curious. After you've been here a few moments, noticing if a part of your body just lets go, and how interesting that is. Separate but together. You don't even realize that you're still gripping somewhere. Train coming. Normally I would just keep you here. I want to be able to say goodbye. Let's go ahead and roll over to your right.
let your head rest on your right arm for a moment. Integrate in everything that's just happened. And then when you're ready, just make your way up to an easy seat. Your hands just come to your knees, palm up to receive. We're in this place where receiving is good. Then I want you to bring the right hand high. And what you're receiving, send out the left. And that begins with the breath, right? What you receive, send out. Just inhaling, taking it in, exhaling, send it out. You can't give from an empty cup, friends. Allow yourself to receive so that you can give. It's coming. It's been my pleasure. Take your thumbs just above your eyebrows. Kind thoughts.